Hello again and welcome to the Culinary Kitchen. My name is Chef Jason Champagne. I'm chef owner of Native Chef LLC, and I want to thank the Muskogee Nation of Oklahoma for this opportunity to present from my home here in Eudora, Kansas. And today we're going to do a really fun and easy recipe using zucchini spaghetti. Instead of regular spaghetti, we're going to be using zucchini in place of that, and we're going to make a really fun and easy homemade turkey marinara sauce. So all the one step is done. I've went shopping, I've gotten everything in front of me on my recipe, and we'll get to cooking. Okay, with any recipe you're going to have to kind of look at it. If it's your own personal cooking, you have to decide what's going to take the longest to cook, and in this case it's going to be the sauce. So that's the first thing you want to do, is you want to start prepping your ingredients and get your sauce started. Okay, very quickly I want to finely mince this garlic, and I'm just going to chop down this way, and then I'm going to cross cut. And then I'm going to cross chop this way. Okay, next up I'm going to go ahead and fine dice half of a sweet onion. So I cut it in half, and I cut through, but I don't go all the way to the end so it all stays together. And now I'm going to cross cut this way. As thinly as you can. Next up, we're going to chop up some fresh basil. Okay, so I'm just going to take the big leaves off here, leave the stem. And then what I want to do is I want to grab the biggest piece I can find, and then grab all these other ones and put them inside of it. And then I'm going to roll it up like a cigar shape, and then I'm going to finally chiffonade this as thin as possible. And then I'm going to cross cut. Okay, so very quickly I'm going to add some oil to this preheated 3-quart saucepan, and I'm going to add my garlic, and I'm going to add the onion, and I want to cook this until the onion becomes nice and golden, translucent color. So basically what we're doing right here, I like to describe it as we're opening the flavors. If these vegetables had a door, we're opening that door so that the flavor can come out. It's also called sweating. It's a cooking technique. Okay, it's been about 3 minutes, and the onions and garlic are starting to brown a little bit, so that's what we want. We want that golden color. And now what I want to do is I'm going to add the lean turkey, and the best chance you have to breaking up this turkey is right now when it's not cooked. So really spend some time breaking up that turkey, and we just want to brown it until we don't see any pink left. Okay, so it's been about 3.5, 4 minutes here, and the turkey is nice and brown, and if you want to drain it, you can. If you use lean meat, you shouldn't have to drain it that much. So there's no pink visible. So now we're going to add our partially drained petite diced tomatoes, our tomato sauce. Occasionally, when you go to the grocery store, sometimes you'll find that they don't have fresh herbs, and that happened to me in this case. I went to 3 stores, they didn't have fresh oregano. So it's important to use 1/3 of whatever fresh is listed on the recipe. So if 1 tablespoon of fresh oregano is listed, then you want to use 1 teaspoon. So that's what I have here, dried, and then I have some fresh basil. Now we want to just mix this together, simmer it for about 40 minutes. We're going to simmer. We just kind of want to reduce the liquid and make it thicker. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to make our zucchini noodles. And what I have here is I have a vegetable spiralizer. They're not too expensive. They're only about maybe $20 for a good sturdy one. This has 3 blades. It has a smaller spiralizing blade. I'm going to use the bigger one because we don't want to overcook our zucchini. We want to keep them thicker so that they still have texture, a bite to them. And so basically it's really easy to use. If you have a larger zucchini, cut it in half. All I did was I just cut the ends off, and then I press this in, and then I hold it down and I push in, and it makes these nice noodles. So after a little bit here, I'll just kind of stop, break them off, pull them into the pan. This little handle here helps hold it down. And I like to do some of both color, just for color added to the plate. And then there we have our zucchini noodles. Really colorful. This is a good opportunity to get your kids involved, helping out in the kitchen. They love to turn stuff. And this will be replacing our regular zucchini, or regular spaghetti in our meal. Okay, and then last what we'll do is we'll just chop up a little bit of parsley for a garnish for our zucchini spaghetti. So I just really simply cross chop this. It's already been washed, drained really well. Okay, it's been about 40 minutes and our sauce has really reduced the way we wanted it to. You can kind of see with the red rim there where it was. So it's reduced probably by reduced by about an eighth. And this is when you want to add the salt and the sugar. So the sugar balances out the acidity of the tomatoes in it. So we're going to add the sugar, and then we're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then this is where you want to taste it to see where it's at. If you want a little bit less acidity, add a little bit more sugar, but this is this recipe I'm giving you is pretty spot on in my opinion. So now we're just going to reduce the heat to a very low, and then we'll start our zucchini noodles. Okay, I preheated my pan over medium heat. What I want to do now is just open the flavor of this garlic. So I'm going to add some olive oil, get that spread around. Then I'm going to add my garlic, and we're just going to cook this for about 30 seconds, 30 to 45 seconds. Again, all we're doing, we're just opening the flavor to the garlic. You don't want it too hot. Medium heat is just fine because you'll really quickly brown the garlic too much. Okay, so once the garlic is starting to turn brown, then we'll add our zucchini noodles. These don't need to cook very long at all. Remember that we could have ate these raw, so we really don't want to overcook these. And we just want to give them a quick saute. This is where you can get good at tossing vegetables like this. It's just a simple push and pull. And also the heat from the turkey marinara are going to partially cook these noodles too. You got to remember that as well. Okay, so about after a minute and a half here, we want to go ahead and plate the noodles. You can tell they're starting to get right where they're at because they're getting very easy to bend, and that's what we want. We don't want them to be mushy, but we want them to be easily bendable. So we'll go ahead and start working on plating here. So we'll take our noodles and we'll add those to the bottom of our pan. Get those little bits of fresh garlic right on top. And then we'll take some of our turkey marinara, ladle that right on top. This is enough for 2 people. This marinara is enough for 6, but the noodles, we only did enough for about 2, so just like that. Take a little bit of Parmesan cheese for a garnish. I'm sorry, this is mozzarella cheese. So the heat should nicely melt that by the time you start eating. And then we'll use some fresh parsley for a garnish right on top. Really easy. Well, that does it for this recipe. Very easy one to do. One of my favorites to do with spaghetti, with the zucchini. And I've done these before with kids, and they love the spaghetti, zucchini spaghetti. There was something about it that they had hands on making it, and they truly enjoyed it more than actual regular spaghetti. And so I know it's a big hit with kids. So, you know, get at home whenever you're cooking, get the kids involved. Have them help wash vegetables, or have them help, you know, stir meat or break up meat or something. The earlier you get them introduced to cooking, the better. I had a good time doing this meal. One thing I would suggest is serving it immediately. So anytime you saute vegetables like we did and you take them off, they're gonna release liquid. And so that's what's going on here, is that there's some liquid that's coming out along with the juice of the marinara. And if you're worried about presentation, all you got to do is just take a paper towel and kind of soak up the juice on the edges and all that. But really easy, fun recipe to do. Try it at home, see what you think. You can also reach out to me on Native Chef LLC on Facebook. If you ever try one of these recipes, let me know what you think. And I sure appreciate you watching today. I had a great time. Thank you again to the Muscogee Nation of Oklahoma. And you guys stay safe out there, and enjoy the rest of your day. Miigwech.